All right, guys, what's going on? Today we are talking about the hips. It's all in the hips. Remember that from Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
It's all in the hips.
He's like, get off me, you're creeping me out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all in the hips. Yeah, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips.
Get off of me!
Hey, just easing the tension, baby.
All right, so there it is. It's all in the hips. All right, today it is. It's all in the hips. We're talking about the hip hinge. Now, we've talked about this before, but we've never talked about really how to execute it.
Yeah.
And it's such an important, just basic movement pattern
Yeah.
that people don't get right.
Yeah, it's
And-
basic on a lot of different movements.
Oh, yeah, upper and lower body.
Deadlifts, Romanians, barbell rows.
Stiff-legged deadlifts.
Yep. Even like simple cable row moves, like you're just doing from the ground,
Yeah.
ground up.
Yeah.
Utilizing that hip hinge brings pressure into the hips and takes that pressure off your lower back.
Exactly. And even though you're leaned forward a little bit, that your spine is still straight.
Yeah.
So like say you're doing a row and you're angled a little bit forward like this, well, you're still maintaining this natural curvature of your lower back.
And a lot of that pressure's in the hips that whole time.
Right,
So,
exactly. Instead of the knees or the lower back,
lower
probably lower back when
Yeah.
you're doing that.
And then it's hard to do those rows when you have that, because then you're like doing this, or you're trying
Right.
to relieve or get that tension off the lower back that whole time. That's probably the only thing that you're focused on.
Right, right. And then you're going making a good exercise, a shit exercise.
Yeah, pretty much.
really, really quick. So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about how to really execute it, because a lot of your clients I know, and a lot of people in general, just don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So what would be the best way, the best cue that you would give them just to initiate the movement? No weight being used, just the basic biomechanical movement.
Yeah, it's really just like we were talking about earlier before we started the video.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, pressing the fingers into the hips. Really, what I tell them is just lead their hips out and keep their back straight. So if your chest is out, then you know that you have a straight spine, and you just lead those hips out. Then the pressure goes into the hips.
Right away.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know some people, what they'll do is they'll try to say you're doing a squat, and they're
Yeah.
trying to squat down, and the first thing that breaks is their knees.
Yep.
Their knees go. There's nothing going on in the hips. It's all the knees.
It puts a lot into that lower back when they start doing that movement initially, like just starting the movement. It's like lower back.
Right.
That's all they feel.
Right. So we see it with the row.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the row. We'll do the row real quick. Now you can see Chaz's natural curvature in his spine because those hips are back. His knees aren't bent excessively without any hip activation.
Yeah.
The hips are bent, and it keeps everything in alignment in the lower back, which is so big.
Then you can really focus on the lats when you pull.
Right.
Rolling those lats right around the spine, getting a nice flex. Get all your focus on what you're doing.
Right. And of course, something else you got to think about too is the abdominal muscles, because a lot of times if you don't have a good hip hinge, your abdominal muscles, it doesn't matter how strong you are,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to make up for that
Yeah.
that hip the hip strength.
Yeah.
And the ability that the hips have to take all that
You're
pressure.
feeling it all right here.
You're feeling here and get a hernia.
Yeah. Oh,
right
God.
there.
Yeah, that's
Man,
like the worst. That's like the worst word in the world.
I've seen that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hernia is something that you guys don't
I
want.
definitely see that happening in that position too.
Yeah.
Especially with all like the naval patterns, like the tears and stuff that happen.
Oh man. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Well,
Keep those abs flexed.
exactly. Everything tight.
Yep.
Just like we made the video with Isaac,
Oh, yeah.
where he talked about keeping everything tight from the ground, from your feet all the way up.
Made a big difference.
Yeah.
I use that in my sumos now. I
Yeah.
rip that bar up like it's no one's business.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. I tore some skin off my shin this morning. I sent a picture to him.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So that means you're working hard, and also that
You're
you're
doing
having
it properly.
and you're doing it properly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, all right. So guys, hip hinge, basic movement that you got to get down anytime you do really any lift at all. You just this basic biomechanical movement, even just sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
Going to sit on the toilet, you got to have a good hip hinge.
Yeah.
You know.
Make sure you sit all the way down before you go.
Yeah, good advice. That's
Yeah.
good advice. Excellent advice. All right, guys, hope you have a good week. We'll be back very soon
Yes.
with another topic, helping you guys out. See ya.